This is Cinematic Suffering, where we watch every horror movie streaming on Netflix, from A to Z, for better or worse. Life is pain, and so are bad horror movies.
Yeah, I just got a bunch of stuff in the mail from Amazon for recording purposes and Twitch streaming, and it's gonna sound totally cool, bros.
Sweet.
Nice.
Just so my end, you guys will sound like shit because that's how.
Yeah, I mean, because we're we're not professionals.
And speaking of not professionals, let's talk about this latest movie we've seen. No,
That's right.
We're gonna jump into that. We are Cinematic Suffering, of course. We are back again from the dead. We have been off on a little hiatus after pushing out 11 episodes, almost one a week last year. And,
yeah, we decided to let our productivity plummet. We thought that would help gain a very good audience there.
So we figured like we just let everything kind of cool off and simmer down because it was going really hot, and right where we're at our peak, we dropped it.
Yeah, we both got scandalous drug addictions, and I'm forgetting how to use words, and I'm completely sober. This is a good start. Very good. We're starting off strong.
We're doing great here, but we have we have a new addition to the team that will hopefully keep us in line and keep us off of our drug addictions and our word stumbling.
That's right.
The illustrious, the ever adorable, the ever sexy Morgan Hayes.
Morgan, yeah, can you hear the applause?
Yeah, we can hear the clap.
Morgan.
Wow,
third host.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yes.
Now we decided to bring Morgan on because Clay and I just didn't have enough to talk about with the two of us, and we're like, hey, let's bring in a third. And I figured, hey, why not someone from our childhood as well and from growing up, and we've all kind of stayed in contact throughout the years, and
we've known each other since right around the puberty age, so it's been awkward the whole time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So what I hope for is that we'll have a lot of awkward pauses, even more with a third host. That'll be great.
Hey, never let the audience down.
Never.
We've already had like 15 awkward pauses so far, so I'll just edit those out just to sound like the smoothest conversation we've ever had.
Yeah, or we could start again and make it sound totally improvised there.
Never. Give the audience what they want. Give the audience what they want.
Yes,
they want
right.
Awkward conversations about weird movies. That's what we want to hear. That's what they want to hear. That's why we're back to do this.
So that's right. Let's chop up our Adderall, and we're going to get right into this. We are Cinematic Suffering, and what we do here is we review the Netflix horror catalog from A to Z, and we go right through A to Z, and it's been pretty tough so far, and we're getting ready to hit a real hard bump in the road. I'm not going to lie. We're doing American Poltergeist.
Yes, American Poltergeist. Who created this great work of art?
I'm glad you asked. From writer-director Mike Ratowski and co-writer Nicole Holland comes American Poltergeist. Wait a minute, didn't Poltergeist take place in America? So the American part is redundant. Anyway, the movie stars Simona Fusca, Donna Spangler, Aaron Lee, Nicole Holland. Oh, and Nicole Holland plays double duty as scribe, so very hard worker there. Arthur Richardson, Ashley Green Elizabeth, Nicole Howell, Rich Rossi, Luke Brandon Field. It's just an all-star cast, rounding out one of the more ambitious bungles I've seen in a minute.
Yeah, this is an amazing experience, and I guess we should just go ahead and delve right into it. I don't know, what are your initial thoughts? I'm going to turn to Morgan, who's sitting kitty corner from me, and by kitty corner, I mean the other side of the country in Florida.
Exactly. I went into this. My decision was I didn't want to like read up on it or anything. I didn't want to do any kind of background. I just wanted to go in cold and just get a feel for it and kind of, getting started into it. I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, it's got the classic kind of, tropes of horror movies. You got your young college / teenage group of kids, and they're going to do something, and then we're going to watch how this kind of unfolds. And as I went through the process of watching it, I quickly kind of got the idea. I was thinking, why the name? I mean, it didn't seem like it kind of meshed two and two together. I started kind of getting lost on that. I was like, okay, because I remember as a kid, watching the original Poltergeist movie, and I remember, how great it was, and it scared the crap out of me and
Did you
whatnot. And
did you think this was going to be somewhat similar to that?
well, yeah, I mean, when you think of Poltergeist, you think of these really, mischievous kind of, spirits haunting the house kind of thing. And this movie just quickly did not, go down that path. And it made a major left turn. And I was like, what the hell am I watching?
Immediately is what I thought. Like,
Yeah.
wow, this is strange. Yeah, how would you guys describe the acting? The word that I placed on it was otherworldly.
Well,
It-
I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say, I thought the girl that played Taryn, I thought she did at least decent. I mean, she wasn't fantastic, she wasn't bad, but I think as far as like the cast goes, I think she did a decent job kind of anchoring, with what she had to work with. But the rest of them, I was like, holy hell, where the hell
This
did they find these people,
this
man?
just seemed like a Friends. It seems like a Friends movie. They got together. They're like, let's make a movie. They had no idea what they were doing, and they just said, let's just get some non-actors in here.
Exactly.
They're just their friends. Hey, you want to be in a movie? Yeah, I would love to be in a movie. And they all came down.
I mean, we already get together for the coke-fueled swing party on Saturdays. Let's make a movie too.
Exactly.
So you mentioned the kids, and I put that in quotes, who are in college, who throughout the movie mentioned they're from Brown University, uh, and we're in Brown. We're studying at Brown. I can't believe she got into Brown. I'm like, this was just one of the weird things that kept popping up through the movie for me. I'm like, why keep mentioning the university? It doesn't. You don't even have to have a name for it. You could just say we're in college, but no, they kept
Yeah, yeah.
specifically saying Brown University.
And they get a discount on tuition, maybe. I think that obviously, in order to get into Brown, if you're going to judge the cast harshly, you just need to maintain a body heat that allows you to be alive. You can't be in a coma.
Okay, so we start off here with it starts off with like this card, I guess, that starts off that says that it's about an unsolved poltergeist case. And then I was wondering, wait, an unsolved poltergeist case? Well, it was the poltergeist case solved, right? I mean, and they says an unsolved poltergeist case. Well, they obviously knew it was a poltergeist, so I guess it was solved. But
Unsolved poltergeist cases exist in the same realm as unsolved UFO abductions, unsolved Illuminati conspiracies, unsolved reptilians. There's a lot of unsolved mysteries out there in the world. But
Yeah,
it starts off with an old-fashioned like suicide by hanging. So it's like, oh wow, this is going to be interesting through and through.
awkward pause number one.
Yeah, there we go.
I was just waiting to see if anyone else was going to say anything. But we start off with that lady hanging herself, and it's like it doesn't make any sense. I mean, at the beginning, I'm like, oh, maybe that'll make some sense later on. No, it doesn't make any sense at all.
No,
No.
will it play into the movie? No, I'm
Nope.
just gonna. Nope,
Well,
never again.
and
Kinda.
it was
Well,
one of
maybe.
first of many scenes that just didn't kind of make any sense. Things were happening, and you're like, "Why did this happen?" And then you kind of wait for something to unfold that kind of explains that event, and then you're kind of left. The whole movie goes on, and you're like, "Okay, this didn't what the hell was that? Why did they even add that in there? That makes no sense."
Yeah, and this is what we start seeing the deconstruction of this of the movie as we go along, because it goes to the next scene of the car scene, which started off really weird. One of the friends is in the front seat and the other friend is the back seat, and they're talking to each other, and I'm like, why is the friend sitting in the back seat and they're having this conversation on the way to the house? It just looks weird.
Yeah,
And these two dudes, just to give the audience kind of an idea, you got Scott and you got Michael. Michael is like the main guy in it, I guess. He's got short. They're all white.
Yeah.
That is what it is. But Michael has short black hair and Scott has black curly hair. And they're two of the whitest people in the world. And they're driving to meet the other whitest people on Earth so that they can have a white people convention. And they get there, and then Nikki is in the car with them, and I'm like, was she in the back blowing somebody? What's going on here?
Yeah, when they arrive at the house, someone is in the front seat, and it's Nikki, but we don't establish that. It just starts off right away with them having a conversation, one in the front seat and the one in the back. And I'm like, did they just do that just because it was convenient for the camera guy to be in the front seat?
Yeah.
It's dangerous for him to be levitating outside of the car, holding on, doing the skateboard, the old Marty McFly.
I even put, they arrive at the house. Oh, wait, there was someone else in the car? And I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that girl, Nikki, I guess Michael's girlfriend.
Yeah,
The
Nikki.
slutty girlfriend.
Well, the whole okay. There's three girls, and it was so odd to me because they're all pretty, but they have the same basic body type. So I'm thinking like either the casting director or the director. Let's not act like there's.
I don't think there was a casting agent on this one.
Or like even a buffet bar or anything like that. They just they had Del Taco cater the whole affair, but they all have the same basic body type, which I don't know why that bugged me, but it did. It was like, do you have a type, or do you just happen to know giraffe like pretty ladies? And they're all kind of real white, blonde, Anglo, and tall and skinny.
And I don't know about you guys, I was getting this weird vibe as it started like this, because they started getting the stereotypical, why did she get in brown, and you see this girl is dressed in a mini skirt and looking seductive, and I'm like, are they going to go for the regular horror movie tropes of the sinner girl is the slutty one, and then the pure girl is the stand-up one, the hero girl or the last girl, whatever that's usually in these movies. And I kept getting this weird feeling that this is like a Christian made film, like it was a religious base. Because
really,
I'm gonna jump ahead just a little bit, because we go into the house, right? And the two girls, this is a huge goddamn house, and the two girls room together. They sleep in a twin bed, head to heel from each other. Meanwhile, the other guys get these large rooms by themselves. I'm like, why do they sleep head to heel in the same bed?
I thought the same thing. I was like, what the hell is that all about?
So that's why
keep in mind that when they're sleeping in this little bed, when Jason says it was a little bed, we're talking a bare mattress on the floor with this weird dresser that's about hobbit height. So it's like, if you're going to kidnap a hobbit, right? You want to kidnap your hobbit and hold him for ransom. That's the room you put him in. It's why are they sitting here? And it gets even more absurd later when you see the rest of the house. It's like, why were you staying in the hobbit hole? That makes no sense.
It's true. It's a little hole, little closet. They slept in a twin bed, head to heel, and that's why I started getting the weird religious vibe, because maybe they didn't want the girls sleeping together to make it look like they're a couple, because that would be too shocking or whatever for their proposed audience or something.
And we are bouncing around, but that's fine. Like, and that bugged me too. What it felt like to me is that the director was the horniest creature on earth, but the movie just wasn't having it. So you had this weird push-pull of like, put on a short skirt, now do something sexual. No. Okay, we're gonna shoot it anyway, but I'm hella angry.
And then so our host, who's the host? Diana, is that her name?
Yeah, as Michael and Scott are driving there, they mention the host, their host, the person that owns a house is Diana, and they describe her as eccentric.
Yeah, eccentric could be a word you could put on that.
I think that's an understatement.
More like new to the solar system. If that's what eccentric is.
She's like, I'm not an alien, but I'm just gonna. Everyone have a seat. We'll serve you dinner, and then I'm going to ram my ovipositor down your throat and plant my eggs into your chest. But I'm not an alien.
Yeah, as soon as they meet her, she is like, welcome. The pool is 15 feet deep.
She says it's a
show you around.
She says it's a jacuzzian pool.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a jacuzzian pool?
It triples as a toilet if you really want to be from Alpha Centauri about it.
And then we see one of the girls go and sit in the toilet, and then we hear pee sounds. And
oh god, it's such a weird movie.
I said I love it. I knew this movie was going to be awesome. That's when I started writing that. And, that was day one.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. This has got to be confusing as hell. So, just to recap real quick, we got a bunch of feckless idiots going to, for no good reason, stay at a house hosted by a weird woman that's recently had a lobotomy, and she seems comfortable having a bunch of horned up college students fornicating all over her house, but they never do. So
No.
it's the most bizarre movie. It's really hard to describe in words just how odd the tone is, and how strange the dialogue is. The things that they say to one another aren't conjunctions of words that people put in a sentence, and they aren't things that human beings say to one another.
Yeah, the dialogue was very clunky, and it's like when they first arrive at the house and Diana starts telling them about the house, I kind of got the idea that she was like reading, bullet points off of a realtor's card or something like that in a very robotic manner. I'm like, what the hell is this?
You got to understand, she just got out of the hospital. She was in a very bad accident. They had to scoop about 5% of her brain matter off the highway. So you're lucky she's upright.
That was the first shocking moment for me from the film. Literally was when they met Diana, because I was like, she was so robotic. I mean, just so animatronic. It was just like, this isn't even a real person, is it? Did they spend all the budget on having a robot do one of the roles in the film or something? I mean, what the hell?
I got this great idea, guys. I've my brother's a robotics engineer at Brown University, right? And he developed this AI system. Just put it in a real doll.
Now we're gonna have to take this real doll and submerge it in chlorine because I live with a bunch of frat boys and et cetera, et cetera.
So we're moving on to day 2, and by the way, the days don't matter. I mean, this timeline does not matter. They could have just gone from one day to the next and woke up in the morning, but no, it says day 2.
Day 2, and nothing really spectacular happened on day 1. There was a little bit of foreshadowing that the place is haunted, but no shit, it's haunted. The thing is called American Poltergeist. Right. So I think Diana was cutting up some vegetables and the knife moved, or am I bouncing forward? Like it fucking matters.
I think you may be right.
Yeah, that happened day 2. Gee, sorry.
You're getting out of the timeline, dude.
All right, so day 2. Why is this movie divided into days?
I have no idea, but the next scene is them arriving back at this house again with all of their junk. So I guess the premise is they're going to stay at this house because they keep mentioning it's cheap to pay the rent for each room. Yeah, only $325 a month. Can you believe it? And that's why they're at this house, I guess, just to stay for a vacation.
Well, the premise was they didn't want to live on campus. They're college kids, they're seniors, they're upperclassmen. They don't want to they shouldn't have to live on campus in a dorm anymore. So all the cool kids are moving out and actually living in a house off campus, as opposed to, being crammed in a dorm and having to put up with, crappy roommates in a dorm or something.
Okay, so that's good to know. Yeah.
We meet the leering cop at this point, Nikki, who is dressed like like she forgot to take off her stripper garb as she left the strip club. She's met by this leering cop, and she's wearing short shorts, and the cop says something weird and off-putting to her. Officer Alvarez,
yeah. Who plays no point in this movie whatsoever. He's just a useless character that should never even have been there.
Well, indicative of the cast.
Well, but they tried to tie him in. I mean, like later on, and kind of jumping ahead here, but they tried to tie him in like he had some kind of relationship with Diana, but they didn't really ever explain it or pan it out or anything. It was just another one of those random things where you're left scratching your head going, what the hell is this about now?
Yeah, why is he here? He shows up near the end too, but again,
right.
He doesn't even need to be there at the end.
No.
But,
he was totally pointless.
What it was he was the Gold Star Kickstarter contributor, so they had to put him in the movie.
He's the top Patreon contributor, so
yeah, it's like I had to shoot 5 crackheads and steal their money to give you all this money. You're putting me in the movie.
Okay, so we have one of the girls, Taryn, I believe, right? Is that the sister or the main girl?
Michael's sister. Yeah,
so Michael's sister Taryn. It shows her stealing a doll for some reason. I was like, she should get a nice price for that on the dark web because it's such an eerie looking doll. Put in one of those secret boxes that people buy off there. Then we see
I was going to say she's going to write its history, like dark history of this doll, not knowing it's probably true.
Yeah, exactly. So we find something that we found in a previous movie. I can't. Several previous movies, I think, Clay, which is another
Yes.
locked door in a house.
Yes, another locked door. Yeah, they Michael asked Diana, who replies robotically as hell, Miss Donna Spangler. I've got a lot to say about Donna Spangler, but anyway, we'll get to that later. Michael's carrying some boxes, and his doofy bro buddy showed up, like, dude, this house is killer. And I was like, no, it's not. It's really not. It
Yeah.
looks like a house. If you close your eyes and imagine house, it looks like that. It's fucking boring. And
Yeah.
yeah, so he's like, hey, can I put some of my stuff down here? You know, I got boxes of lube and footballs, whatever he's bringing in. And Diana's like, no, the door is locked. You cannot go in because the key is a thing that I do not have at this time. There is no key. And he's like, oh, okay. And
Let's just take it out of my truck again.
all right, I guess I'll just sleep on all these sex toys. Jesus.
So we're about 10 minutes in here, and I'm talking the movie, that is. And so
it feels about 40.
yeah, so the girl
Yeah.
pulls out the doll out from under her pillow secretly while she's in the room with her roommate, Taryn. I call her the girl in my notes, but she's actually Taryn. She has this doll under her pillow. It's like, is she a kleptomaniac? Was she trying to hide her doll stealing habit? Does she go into Hobby Lobby and go into the dollhouse section, just start smuggling little dolls out through her butt? Or I mean, that's what it seems like. She's trying to hide some weird secret of having this doll with her.
They never explain why
Nope.
she was compelled to take it.
No.
That was another one of those scenes where it's like, you see her come into the room, you see her, the camera pans over, you see the dolls. There's like a collection of dolls there, and then she grabs the one, walks off with it, and then you're like, okay, well, why was that all up? Because you keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, like they're going to explain this, and it's another one of those mysteries where it's like, okay, just random stuff thrown in there for no apparent reason.
They constantly leave you guessing though, because they make a point of showing Michael put up his crucifix. And okay, was Michael a Christian back when Christianity was invented week one? Because he puts up this crucifix that looks like some prop from a black metal band, like
or something from Monty Python where they just jump in and no one expects the Spanish Inquisition and they're holding his crosses. But yeah, that's the only thing he pops up onto his wall is just this crucifix. And I was like, okay, well, this is going to go somewhere later. And this is another thing that kept pushing the idea that this is a religious film, like one of those Left Behind films or something. Like it's just
Right.
it's speaking to a certain audience, maybe. That's what I
don't know. I don't know if it was just a really bad plot point, or if they realized that, oh, well, we need to have some way to resolve this thing. So it'll be Michael. He goes to church. That makes you qualified to
qualified. Yeah, it's to exorcise demons.
you need to evict dark spirits from your domicile. Michael is your man. That's the guy.
But Michael does get a large, nice room with a full-size bed and a nice view, at least.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the two girls, Taryn and Jenna, have to room together in Tyrion Lannister's murder cot.
Well, and let us not forget, as soon as they move in, I mean, they get all their crap, they bring all the stuff in, and then as soon as they come in, what's the first thing they start doing? Planning a big party. We got to have a big party. We got to have friends over. We got to have all these people come over and stuff.
Let's get kicked out of this house immediately by bringing all of our dumbass friends over and filming an episode of Dare Dorm.
Isn't it?
You laughed. You know what Dare Dorm is.
I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do. Okay, anyway.
Wait a minute. Were we talking about Fake Taxi here?
Yeah, it's in the same block of real estate, that's for sure. And I kept waiting for that to happen. Not that I got porn brain or anything, but if you're going to compare a horror to porn, like I think they take up the same kind of spot in people's gray matter. They both have to work towards a conclusion. There's got to be some visceral thing that happens. And American Poltergeist is like, what? It's horror movies have to be horrific in some kind of way,
Yeah,
interesting, funny, entertaining, something. Nope.
So one of the girls walks down I'm probably skipping ahead a little bit, but we got to.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So one of the girls walks down to the basement and she sees two dead people. I guess they're dead on the ground, and I guess they're ghosts.
Yeah, Taryn is compelled to go downstairs because she hears some vague rustling noise, and she sees dead people on the ground and screams bloody murder, and then they're just gone, and no one wakes up. It's
And Nikki's down there for some reason, sleepwalking, I guess, holding a hatchet.
Yep. Under the stairs or something like that. I'm trying to remember where she was at. Yeah.
Yeah, she's just ripe for the devil under there, waiting for him to come to her, I guess, and just it didn't make any sense. They kind of push her back up into her bed. She lies down next to her boyfriend, not Michael, the other guy, and she lies. Scott lies there with Scott, and they kind of fade out from that scene with her eyes still wide open, like she's just dead. So,
yeah,
just put a dead girl into the bed with your boyfriend.
And Taryn, for no good reason, has established that she doesn't like Nikki, the girlfriend. And I'm like, why do you give a shit? Your brother is banging a hot girl. Quit hating.
So we move into day 3. We get the little card that says day 3, and I'm like, finally, day 3. I've been waiting for day 3 to get here.
It's been bad. I bet this tells you how far ahead I wanted to get. I was already on day 4. I'm like, nope, not yet, asshole. We got to go back a day.
So the other blonde girl that's there, they're all out in the backyard, I guess, near the jacuzzi and pool. And the other blonde, Jenna's taking pictures. She sees this monster up on the balcony, and instead of reacting, she takes a picture of it. She looks at it, and goes walk
casually.
Yeah, it's like, wow, it's not just seeing a lady on the balcony. If you see a lady on the balcony, that's scary enough. But when no one else is in the house, but when it looks monstrous, you're like, that might.
Yeah, Morgan, describe what this character looked like that Jenna was photographing casually.
Go ahead.
No, you go, please.
I mean, you could clearly see when she panned back and she looks up there. I mean, you see this, obviously feminine figure, but she's dressed in like this old school, almost like a school teacher kind of dress. It's like the blue blouse top with the long sleeve, but the big flowy sleeves, and the dress, the wig was horrible. Oh my God, the hair was just bad. It was like this big curly, hair, and the facial makeup was like, what are they doing? It doesn't even, and she doesn't even like flinch or anything. She just takes the photo and she's like, all right, well, I'm gonna hang on to that, and maybe I might check into that later on.
I know, the black sockets of an obvious demon, hollow sockets for eyes, just this grinning, just this face from a nightmare. And she's like, I think I'll take a picture of that. Click, and then just back to, okay, so what were we talking about? Like Cheetos and Fruit Loops or something? Like, just casually, no problem. Yep.
The thing is, it's like nothing has really happened up to this point, but the sister Taryn is automatically saying there's something evil, there's an entity lurking in this house, and that lured Nikki to the basement, and she's starting to get weird really quickly when nothing has really happened. You know what I'm saying? That nothing has happened in this house other than she saw Nikki in the basement with a hatchet, and she might have saw.
She has the one vision in the basement, and suddenly all bets are off. She wants nothing to do with the house, and then her brother is just like, don't start with this now, don't start again, or something to that effect, almost like alluding to like she's had this happen before, and he's like admonishing her for having quote unquote these visions kind of thing.
Yeah, and she claims when she's arguing with her brother that she's the most rational person ever, and I'm like, really? Are you the most rational person ever? Because you really jump to a conclusion that that's not the most rational,
right?
Yeah, she's super bitchy to their host, who inexplicably wants to hang out with these kids and have lunch with them all the time. And like, what kind of pervy shit are you into? There has got to be so many cameras hidden in this. You know what it is? I figured it out. You know who's in the basement is the creepy old guy from 13 Cameras. He's down there just with a economy size bottle of Jerkins lotion, just having at it. That's why no one can go down there.
I'd be almost hoping for that. But yeah, so they have this weird kind of lunch. They have more arguments about the house. Diana utters one of the most iconic lines in the movie when they have food in front of them: dig in. And I had to write that down because I thought it was very iconic. And
that was Donna Spangler, who, if there is a star of this, it's her.
And she was so bad she's good. I mean, that's just
Oh, yeah.
she's so bad, she's good.
And Morgan and I both did some research on her, but I found out something really interesting about her that you guys might not know. Did you know that she teaches an acting class in West Hollywood?
Oh,
Sorry,
man.
there's
I-
She
water
does.
all over my keyboard.
Oh yeah, she does. Like, check it out. I got. You probably can't hear that. I got the ad copy right here. In fact, I said, like I can read you the ad copy. That's as good as we can do. I can read you the ad copy, for some reason.
Oh my God.
Nothing makes sense in this world. So here we go. Do you want to be a professional actor, but you just don't have the skills? Are you going on audition after audition with no callbacks? Well, you need a shot of acting adrenaline. Introducing the Donna Spangler Acting Workshop. Donna Spangler, the star of over 34 Hollywood features, will teach you the tricks that made her an expert in the craft of acting. Lessons include convincing character instructions,
So how do you all know each other?
What college did you say you all attend?
compelling emotions,
Dig in.
Who's the lady in the blue dress?
What lady in the blue dress?
Is she a caretaker of the property or something?
I don't know what you're talking about.
proper line delivery,
Officer Alvarez, come in.
Nice to see you, Miss Eastbrook.
Likewise. What can I do for you?
Oh, I'm just checking in. I noticed some kids moving in the other day. Are you renting out the rooms?
Yes, we could all use the company.
and most importantly, passion.
House, repeat, we are exiting the house.
Sign up today. Seats are limited. No refunds.
Wait. Did you say compelling emotions?
That's right. That's right.
I tell you, she sold it with Dig In.
Yeah.
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 No,
Yeah,
I would.
oh, man.
I can't believe it's so close to me. I might have to sign up for one of her classes.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You should just go out there and just see what it's like.
Yeah,
that's a linchpin in your future career, Jason. That's the one thing you're missing.
I can't wait to go. She was also I guess, a former Playboy playmate and had done some other stuff in the past. So it's good that she's
She's
getting
been
out
in
there and
movies
teaching acting classes. It's
like
really cool.
34 credits on IMDb, and yeah, and she showed her breasts a lot. And after I watched this thing for probably the second time to make sure it was fresh on my mind, I went and did some research. Like, I think I might have actually given my computer a spamware virus trying to find nudity of the actors in this just to redeem the experience a bit. And I got halfway into it. I'm like, I don't care, and then just shut it all down. Like, I don't even care.
How many spent about 30 minutes to an hour looking up stuff. Yes, I
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I did find a scene with Nikki, the girlfriend, and it's some shower scene from some poor movie. You can't really see much, but it was not enough. I still want my money back.
So we're about 23 minutes into the movie here. Another weird thing is that they're sitting there eating, and the sister asks if she can be excused after the dumb argument they have at the table. And I'm like, you're an adult. Get up and go. Why do you have to ask to be excused?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not at your parents' house.
I know. God. I mean, I don't like her, but I didn't like any of them. They're all just terrible.
I know, her with her doll stealing habits. She's a horrible, horrible heroine.
She's probably going to have sex with it, the degenerate.
Okay, so we get like about 24 minutes in, and then Diana's sitting awkwardly, and she does this weird stiff lean back. Did you remember that scene? I think it's like
Not really.
It's kind of, I guess it was supposed to emulate some kind of possession, but it was so awkward to look. It just looks like,
Oh yeah. I know. I vaguely remember what you're talking about now. Keep going.
yeah, and she kind of just goes back in her chair, like if you had a rocking chair and you just kind of went back and held it for a little bit, and then you came back up and just started painting your nails afterwards. Like, why did you do that? Weird.
Like, whoo, glad that was over.
Yeah. So Officer Alvarez shows up at the door, and
He looks like a stripogram. He looks like one of the stripograms from
Yep.
an 80s
That's-
movie.
did you order a cup?
You ladies got to keep the sound down. Bang, 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 bang.
He shows up for some odd reason again and asks, "Do they know what happened here?" And then you hear this ominous music, wong, wong, wong. And I'm like, okay, that's good. You know, go wake it.
Oh goodness.
So there's like a birthday party. The church kid, what's his name? Michael, says he can't
Yep,
he
Michael.
can't make the party because he'll be at church. And I was like, very good, Michael.
Yeah, very good. Don't touch your pee-pee, Michael. Like it's you sinner.
And I maybe if I'm jumping ahead, there's something you want to talk about, please let me know. I'm just gonna keep going to scene.
Let me see here. Michael skeptical, nonsense of ghost talk, Taryn researching house. Your brother has bruises from her ghost encounter. Are we on day 4? Where the hell
Still
are
on
we?
day 3, I think, but
Oh, for God's
actually,
sakes, it's never gonna
I don't
end.
think I even wrote down day 4. I think by this point I had kind of given up.
I wrote my notes say day 4 assholes in all caps. So I was already getting it was already feeling a bit tedious by this
So day
point.
4 must be the day of the party or the day before.
They go shopping for Taryn's party. Taryn is going to have a party because for some reason she deserves to have a birthday party, and all of their dumb friends are going to come over. And so that's what they do. They go out shopping.
Yeah, that was the deep dialogue line where they said, quote, "We're going to the store to get food and drink for Nikki's party." Wow. Okay.
We're gonna eat and drink at this thing.
This thing's gonna go off at the jacuzzi and pool, man.
Oh, it's just gonna be we're gonna be just swamped in bodily fluids. But no, don't get your hopes up. It's not even. No one's like college students don't talk like this. I don't know any, but I can tell you that they don't. The real conversation. We're gonna get late. Let's get fucking drunk. We're gonna do some drugs. There'd be the triumvirate: drugs, sex, and alcohol. Right? That's gonna be the 3 things they talk about.
But you're right. Yeah, Taryn does go around and she rummages around and finds pictures like in the basement. She hears more bumps in the house that, aren't that scary. They're just bumps in a house. And she reads some shit about Lizzie Borden. And that's when we start and we see like her own name on one of the pieces of paper.
She finds some upsetting Scooby-Doo clues in the basement.
She hears some bumps. She kind of covers it up and goes running back upstairs. But yeah, so then around the 36-minute mark, I don't know if you guys experienced it either, but the audio just shot up like really high.
Oh yeah. There was very uneven audio.
Yeah, and sometimes the sound engineer says, "Fuck it, soundtrack be damned. We're just going to have painful silence as people walk around slowly, just these long pointless painful moments of exposition with no soundtrack and no idea about what we're doing or where we're going."
They probably ran out of money to pay the sound editor because they were paying Donna Spangler's fees for that acting job.
Well, half of her paycheck probably went right up her nose.
Yeah, and the other half went to another boob job or something.
But yeah, so the whole thing, she's writing. Yeah, so the audio is just horrible. Then we get lots of weird shots, waist level of Taryn. She's deciding she wants to leave now, and this is one of the most ridiculous scenes
that's
of the entire. Is it
this is my favorite scene of the movie, man? Keep going. This is my favorite scene of the movie right here.
So this is so Taryn is so freaked out about this house. She's like, I'm gonna leave. She tells everyone she's gonna leave, and everyone's like, okay, leave. Get the fuck out. So
no one likes you.
They're all sitting around the living room, and she comes storming in and just demands that she's going to leave, and she's out. So she's grabbing keys, and she's see ya.
She grabs her stuff. There's a lot of butt shots of her for some reason. The mid-level, I was just like, okay, that was just kind of an offside. But she goes to each car. Can I get your keys? And I get each car outside, and she supposedly can't leave because the cars won't start.
Right. The classic trope of the cars won't start in the horror movie. Yep.
Exactly. But it would work better if maybe they were out in the middle of the country. They're in the middle of nowhere, but they're in a suburban area with cars running back and forth. You can call an Uber, a Lyft. You can get on a bike.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you couldn't see an Uber in the background. Like somebody call an Uber.
Or hell, just get out and go walking. You'd probably end up at some other place just, less than a quarter mile down the road.
There's a Circle K. Just go down there. You can call someone from there. And I was just slapping my forehead going, okay, she gave up trying to drive.
Yeah, and keep in mind that she goes in and out of that house 3 full times and asks for 3 different sets of keys from 3 different people. And not only that, we see her walk into the house, demand the keys, go out, try to start the car, stop back in and demand another set. 3 times we see this. I'm like, what are you doing?
And the best part is not a single one of the rest of them even blink. They just sit there.
Yeah.
There's like no dialogue, no nothing. They just sit there and let her do whatever the hell she wants to do.
And then
Well, this crazy person is demanding my keys, and I'm going to give them to this crazy person. That's how much they wanted her to leave. Like, please crash my Altima. I don't care. Take it. And so and then when she comes in, it's like, your car won't start. They're like, que sera, sera. Let me go back to watching this blank TV. I don't think there was anything on the TV. There was just things just teeming with narrative oversight.
we'll take it to the car or we'll take it to the mechanic in the morning. That was their get by.
How?
Yeah.
When are we going to push it? That would have been fun to watch these people just pushing Saturn down the road.
My note here specifically, I'm like, Taryn tries to leave. She should just call an Uber or walk down the well-lit street in the afternoon in an affluent suburb where she's no danger at all.
Not a minority for miles, wherever the hell we are.
The scene was so bad. I mean, it was so bad it was good. I was laughing. I was literally audibly laughing. It was so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I can't. I was totally like perplexed. Like, does the movie know it's that bad? Is it kind of this wink, wink? We know what we're doing, Sharknado kind of approach, or is it just like the James Wen from Birdemic kind of approach, to where it's like it's this guy has no clue that he's just doing the most incompetent movie. By the way, as a side note, I've watched every movie that James Wen has made, and they're almost unwatchable, but they are 1,000 times more charming than this thing.
Yeah, Birdemic was a masterpiece of awful movie making, but it still had some charm to it. This doesn't have any charm. This is just a blank piece of paper that someone just scribbled some notes on, and this is where we're going with it.
Yeah, like you don't have to make a movie. That's what I want to tell these filmmakers, is like, you don't have to do it. It
starts off as a good idea over a drunken margarita one time at wherever they're at, but
Della de los Locos.
But basically they just tell her to chillax. It's okay. Nikki's birthday party's tonight, you doofus. So
we're having chips and cake.
And so this is where the people of color showed up, which is one Asian person and a Jewish girl. And they make it known that she is Jewish.
Oh yeah.
Because the friends are arriving for this. It's a cringe-inducing. The Jewish girl even says, like, "Oh, I managed to get out of the house, but you know how Jewish mothers are." He.
What? Yeah, like we don't need to know that she's Jewish. We don't need to know it. We don't need to know it all. It's totally not important. But she's going to remind us every 6 minutes, and they find reasons like, "Hey, what's your friend's name? You can't have her. She's Jewish."
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, that was just it. It's like when she wasn't reminding us, Michael was doing a good job of reminding us because of his interest in her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, well, you're always declaring fatwas against people. It wouldn't work out with you and her.
This is where I started. This is the point of the movie where I started making my predictions down who would die first. And so the Asian girl was doing. I have to call her the Asian girl because it means a lot, because there's no people of color in this movie until now. So she's doing cocaine, the book of sugar, by herself, and that's why I was like, yeah, she'll probably die first, or the Jewish girl. That was my prediction.
And this, you got to understand the tone of this party. It's the whole cast. Everybody seemed like their instruction was, if you have fun, I'm going to kill you and your family. I'm going to boil your puppy right in front of you. You can't have fun. So she's off by herself doing cocaine. Cocaine is the last drug you would want to do at this party. It was like, I would want to be so stoned that I was stupid to get through it.
Yeah, party of like 6 people, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the party was the saddest affair. It's like 5 of Nikki's dumbass friends, and that's exactly what this movie needed, was an infusion of douchebags. It's just draft swilling fuckheads.
But they needed. I can understand they needed more people to maybe kill off, but even the deaths that we see in a couple of minutes don't pay off at all, anyways.
No.
So we see so there's like this weird scene where Taryn is talking about, I guess, how she's just mentions casually that this is a murder house. This is where Lizzie Borden chopped up her parents or something like that. And
well, and just a quick side note on this one, guys. Like this was one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and it was so weird. Like they're describing the big part of exposition, like Jason just said, is that they mention that this is the house that Lizzie Borden chopped up her parents in. Oh, very interesting. Not really, but during the scene, all the girls are in the same room, and it's this big open beautiful guest room, and I'm thinking like, why are Jenna and Taryn rooming together when they've got this giant guest room?
Right.
But they're getting dressed to go swim, but you can tell all of the actors are incredibly uncomfortable with the very notion of getting naked for this turd of a film. So they're all like, "Oh, let me just take off the buckle on my shoe here. This sure is tough." They're all doing this weird thing, like, "Let me just take a sock off. Let me just peel the sock down slowly." It's so weird. You could tell that they're all.
It was more like they lost their first hand at strip poker or something like that, as opposed to getting ready to go to the pool. You know,
you're like, do I really have to do it?
Yeah, exactly.
You can look at my foot, but even that seems kind of inappropriate.
So Taryn is like just kind of casually mentions, and Nikki may be a little freaked out, but she's not. It's interesting. No one seems to be really freaked out about it, but Taryn's brother just goes off on her, saying, "Would you stop spreading rumors that this is a murder house for once?" And he adds "for once" at the end, which I thought was an odd language choice. Would you stop spreading rumors that this is a murder house for once?
Even though she didn't do it once. And good job, dude. You have C-blocked yourself epically with this move. This is her party.
This line makes no sense since Nikki just found out that the house was an old murder scene. It's like she came up, she's like, hey Scott, or whatever his name is, did you know this is where Lizzie Borden was chopped up her parents? Would you stop spreading rumors that this is a murder house for once? Oh my god.
Shut your lying supple, heifer. Yeah, look like God, dude. Dial it back a bit.
Dude. It's cool. For once. Yeah, just an odd script choice that they chose. But I mean, of course, that's not the first, obviously, but so what really happens there? Because I'm jumping now into people biting it.
That's where we finally transition into Act 3, and things finally start happening.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So I have to say the Jewish girl, because I don't really know her name, and she starts heading out through one of the back end exits, I guess, trying to leave, and she gets ambushed by Diana and the ghost of Lizzie Borden. That's what I'm assuming.
That's right.
But we don't see a payoff. We just kind of, they rush her real quick, and that's the end of that scene.
Oh, it was odd. I mean, the angle of the shot was really, really tight, so you don't really see anything, and all you really kind of see is just the back of someone's head, and that's it. And so, yeah, there is no payoff. It's like it's only afterwards you kind of figure out, oh, that's what happened. She got freaking killed. All right.
But we still don't know how. Somehow that leaves your mouth all in this weird stroke rictus with blood dripping out of your face. That's how Lizzie Borden killed people, I guess, was by spooking them to death.
That was another.
They bled out the eyes.
This was another sticking point that I don't know if I didn't put a note, but it just spurred my memory here. Lizzie Borden killed her parents supposedly with an hatchet. There was no use of a hatchet or axe in this movie at all.
No, other than the scene downstairs where you see Nikki in the basement and you see the hatchet. Other than that, there's no other mention or shot of a hatchet the rest of the film.
And I thought from that scene, it's like, oh, Nikki's going to get possessed. We're going to see her go around and just chopping people up in their beds, which would have been cool in my book, but no.
At this point, my thought was, okay, this is horror movie by jigsaw puzzle. You got to kind of figure out what the hell's going on and fit pieces together, because it does not flow. There's nothing that really kind of goes from point A to point B to point C. It's just kind of all mishmash thrown together.
Yeah, and at this point in the movie, the party, you can tell that they're like, all right, we have to start kind of getting things going. So several of the guests just get spooked to death, like boogity boogity, and then there's this one hilarious scene where one of the girl who's she's about Diana's age, this alleged friend of their other friends,
the girl who's probably from Slovenia or something.
Yeah, and I don't want to say like this older lady because she's probably like my age, but like she's in the shower and her boyfriend's like, "Hey, doop de doop de doop." He's derping around the bed. He gets into like the sauna, and then the ghost of Lizzie Borden just shows up, and then he's like makes this comically just hilarious "I'm scared" face, like, "Ah!" And then
I have that written down. I'd say drunk dude with his O face was hilarious.
Yeah, like, "Oh my god!"
I wish we could throw up a visual medium of this, because just take screenshots and just throw it up here, because it would be awesome.
Imagine a draft beer swilling alpha male that just got his first that just had his first finger up his butt. That's kind of that's what he looked like. He's surprised, but not scared as much as just kind of like very shocked or something. I don't know.
Well, so as we move along, I guess the kids, they're all in one place in the living room. They finally see Diana with the ghost of Lizzie Borden outside the window, and they start freaking out. Finally, they believe that the place is haunted, or not necessarily a poltergeist by description, but it's haunted. Okay, we'll give them that. And they start coming up with this convoluted plot devices. We hear a lot of exposition about how to get rid of it, and yeah, they finally point fingers at the church kid and say, "Oh, you can exorcise this demon, right?"
Yeah, and he naturally is like, "No, dude, I go to Sunday school every week." What?
But that doesn't stop him from trying.
Yeah, I mean, I play a lot of StarCraft. Don't ask me to be a military advisor to anyone.
So it starts getting a little, it starts running together, because we see Michael, or Scott. Is that his name? I keep getting the brothers.
Scott's the short-haired guy. Michael is the curly-haired
So
religious
Scott
guy.
runs like a little dweeb. He just have this weird gait about him when he runs, and
Yeah, he's like,
he's like, "I
"Golly,
gotta get upstairs." So he runs upstairs, and they're trying to find Diana, right? Or
I
Diana
guess.
shows up, they grab her and pin her down, and that's when creepy
right.
Officer Alvarez shows up. And he's just standing there, like, he's already in on it, but he's just standing there over them, watching them hold this woman down.
Yep.
And not doing anything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, well, we kind of get it, but can you kind of play the part a little bit? Like, what are you kids up to?" Can
Like, hey, I feel compelled to tell you to not sexually assault that lady.
But he just stands. He's on the sidelines. If you're one of the kids, I know there's a lot going on around you, and you'd be like, "Oh, good, there's a cop here. He can help us. Can you go and get help? Call 911, do something." But that doesn't happen. He just kind of sits there like a stump on a log, and they all go down to the basement.
Yeah, yeah, and they is that where they perform the exorcism? I think that we're nearing the climactic
We start seeing Diana's amazing possession performance that obviously stole and copied straight from The Exorcist and other, like the Exorcism of Emily Rose and the other great exorcism movies. She is putting that all into her performance as she just kind of sticks her tongue out. Very evil. There is a literal scene where she's like blah 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 blah, and then she just sticks her tongue out like she's a kid at one of the acts.
Well, don't forget that she lazily flails her arms and kicks her feet a little
She
bit.
does.
Too.
She seems like she's in distress.
Anyway, god damn. What happened next?
So yeah, we're an hour.
Yeah,
This is where you have the kid who barely goes to Sunday school is now going to, do this master level exorcism on somebody, that he's never done before.
Yeah, and he's like, "Christ compels you by the power of Jesus. Mohammed be damned." I don't know what I'm even saying anymore.
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Cthulhu, Satan. I think he was calling on every Eastern and Western deity that he could think of. But they perform the exorcism, or they at least try to. The whole movie in the third act becomes this. I want to say chaotic, but it was still somehow boring. It managed to straddle the two lines between chaos and complete boredom, where people are getting sucked into alcoves. Like, it seems like some of the characters are possessed themselves, and they're getting pulled into every nook and cranny of the house. They can't break the windows. Like they're feebly beating on the windows. Like the windows won't break. There's
no rules set in this little world that they've created. So it's like Nikki supposedly gets possessed and she gets pulled into some alcove. I'm not even sure what happened to Scott, or what, did he die? I'm assuming he died, right?
In the end, yeah, like the very very finale of the movie is they perform this exorcism, right? Let me look back through my notes because I watched this, but I still can't. Morgan, do you remember? Like, there's some. Do they? Is the? I think it's successful, isn't it? Like, there's somebody gets shot in the face.
Oh yeah. The Michael doing the possession, or trying to. For some reason, the cop gives him the gun, and he's like, "You should just shoot yourself." And Michael's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And that's what. Yep.
And I was scratching my head on that
and
one.
we, the audience, are thinking like, that's a pretty good idea.
For once, this movie has done something right.
Yeah, and so I think that Taryn is coming downstairs in the end, isn't it? And there's like blam, and she's like, "No, what happened?" Like, there's all these weird deaths that kind of happen off
Yeah.
screen somehow, and you get the idea that Professor Alvarez was in on it.
Professor Alvarez.
Honestly, guys, I've watched this thing twice. I've suffered through it twice. I can't. It won't stick in my brain. It won't stay. Like, I would try to remember it. Like, what happened?
You've
What
got a
happened?
Teflon
And I'd be
coated
like,
brain, my friend.
yeah, it's like my brain was like, I'm not keeping that. It's like food poisoning. Like, when you eat something that doesn't need to be in there, you just expel it violently. That was happening to my brain. I think it leaked out all over my pillow. I haven't looked at my pillow in the night, but I'm pretty sure that American Poltergeist is in a puddle on my pillow sheet somewhere.
So obviously the exorcism did not take, and everyone pretty much dies except for Taryn, who we see day 5 pops up. Like, again, like this has any significance at all, and we see
Yeah,
Diana coming out of the
yeah.
house, and she's holding Taryn, and Taryn has her head suspiciously covered. And there's the
Yeah.
Diana crying scene is the best. She's I mean, it really tugged at my heartstrings.
Yeah. She knows that this is her last chance to give a good performance, so she just bellows and wails and screams. It's like so shocking because she's been comatose through the entire movie, and now she's like, "Oh my god!" Like, all right, that's a take.
So that and then we see Taryn lift up her head, and somehow, for some reason, she's got red eyes to illustrate that she is possessed, I guess, by Lizzie Borden now.
I guess, yeah. No one
Yeah.
has had red eyes yet.
So
but,
red eyes definitely signify possession, I guess, or they just had a cool set of contacts they got at Spencer's and decided to pop them
Yeah,
in.
I mean, continuity is for D-bags, so screw that.
So this is a movie that was called American Poltergeist, which didn't really have a poltergeist. It was definitely an American film. It was a film that revolved. The secret was it was Lizzie Borden, who was known to hack up her parents with a hatchet, 40 whacks or whatever that little poem is, and there was not one scene of one kid getting axed, and that's what I took away from this film.
Yeah, and no reason, like, I don't see a lot of reasons why a mentally ill young lady back in pioneer days or whenever it was that likes to plant axes into people's foreheads is allowed to be a poltergeist. Why does that make you a vengeful spirit that can inhabit
Right.
people and take them over? Makes no sense.
No,
Yeah, it was a complete disconnect from the title of the movie and what you thought going in versus what you got.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
all kind of, like, when we started this, I did, at least. I don't want to speak for everyone else. I thought it was going to be, a cheesy movie from right off the bat, which I'm fine with. I've seen plenty of them. I can get with that. I thought it would delve more into actual poltergeist activity, a la the movie Poltergeist. Where it's not a single entity, but it's almost like multiple, and we'd see this crazy shit that was going on, but nothing really crazy happened throughout this film except for the way people reacted to situations.
It was, they're long, pointless moments of screamingly dull, unnecessary exposition. And sometimes the soundtrack just decided that it was feeling sad that day and it went home. What else was there? I found moments to chuckle, but it was more like a coping mechanism than actual entertainment.
Yeah. The dialogue was very dry. It was very, forced, and it was acted the way it was written, and Yeah, it was just there was a couple of moments where they tried to do like the classic horror trope jump scares, but
Yeah.
none of it really kind of made you jump or anything. Like you said, it was more comical than anything else.
Yeah, literally, like, I was looking at it like, "Okay, okay," and a jump scare is the cheapest form of
Yeah,
scares, like
yeah.
because you can't help but jump at a jump scare. It's like, remember the American, version of that movie, one of those Japanese movies, The Ring or something like that, or
Yeah.
The Grudge. Like, that was one of those cheap jump scare movies that you would jump, but it wasn't effective, it was just annoying. American Poltergeist uh, couldn't even
No,
accomplish
yeah,
that.
you didn't even lift a finger on a jump scare in this movie.
Yeah, it was almost like the movie didn't want to entertain us. It had no desire to make the audience laugh, gross them out, entertain them in any way. It would be easy to call it like the acting so poor that it was quote unquote porn acting, but it's reductive
That's an insult to
because
porn.
adult films have a sense of urgency. They go somewhere. They want there to be a payoff. This it wouldn't even give you that. Nothing even that crass and base. No, that wouldn't even give you
So
that.
I am on Rotten Tomatoes right now, and I'm looking at the audience score is 4%, which is not a surprise. The one thing that is a surprise is the poster they use for American Poltergeist. It says American Poltergeist. And it says at the bottom, "Don't anger the dead." And then there's a small child standing in front of a closet with a bunch of ghostly things coming out of the closet with a figure there. And that reflects nothing that happened in this film. So I'm
No.
not sure where this theatrical poster came from, but it's
Oh, they're 5 for
yeah,
5. Nothing on that. The house doesn't look like that. There's no creepy woods. There are some red
yeah,
eyes
some
at the
red
end,
eyes.
though.
That's about all
So,
you get.
So the audience
Yeah.
says there was a 1 5-star review on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm
What?
going to read it.
By Donna Spangler.
From Joseph H. And his response is, "I can't stop watching it." 5 stars. July 2nd, 2016. That's it. That was his review. "I can't stop watching it." So
I'm looking back through the cast and crew to find this guy. It has to be a plant. There's
or maybe
no
this
way.
was just like a cry for help, and this Joseph H. is dead.
That'd be funny if one of the reviews said, "Let's see you fucking assholes make a movie and see how good it is." The director. But
I keep
it was
thinking more desperately at this, or not desperate, but I keep looking at this review and I can't stop watching it, and I think now it's like it is a cry for help. He's reaching out to the internet saying, "Help! I can't stop watching it. I'm
Yeah, yeah.
dying. Someone save me." It's like
I'm going to kill
like
myself.
Monty
Please help
Python and
me.
the Holy Grail where they go in the castle of trails off. So,
Well, when I was watching this, I had a weird thought. I have a lot of those, but I was thinking, like, okay, what if this movie isn't really a movie? What if it's some kind of weird Illuminati, like recruitment thing? Like, there's no, it's not actually a movie. There's just a lot of triggers in there. Like, it's Operation Mindcrime Part 3. Like, there's something that you're gonna see on there, and it's gonna trigger the operative to go out and murder some important dictator somewhere.
Subliminal messages or something.
we got a Manchurian candidate out there right now who's watched American Poltergeist and is ready to, well, actually, trigger that key word if you're going to.
Don't finish that thought, though. The black boot heels will splinter our
I'm not
nose in.
saying anything. I'm just saying, say that key word.
Just please say it.
Okay, well, I guess.
Little jazz hands.
Okay, so we are at the end of yet another. This is episode 12. We are back, baby. I feel fresh
Yes.
and revived, and
I do too, and it's good to have you on board, Morgan. Hopefully, we didn't talk over you too much.
I mean, I
Feel
figured
free
first
to-
episode, I'm just getting kind of a feel on things, the lay of the land, that kind of stuff. So we're good.
No, it's all good. It's all good, man. And I kind of feel bad because it's like this is the first one that we're coming back to. This movie was painfully bad. Like I can't recommend that anyone watch it. Even ironically, you can't even mind good like jokes and mocking it. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's
You'll want
no-
your 90 minutes back of your
No.
life.
yeah.
It's painful. It's painful. I feel like it wanted a piece of my soul and it got it. Like I got you. You're never getting.
Well,
this back.
it's going to be a horrible, horrible, horrible sequel that we have to watch next. And I think you guys have already watched it, but I've been holding off on this motherfucker for a long time.
Oh man,
I
Yeah.
apologize for my French, but I guess I will have to just break down and watch it this week. Oh God.
yeah,
Yeah, good. I mean, no
Yeah.
spoilers, but it's American
yeah. Keep
Poltergeist
that in mind.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, number
Yeah.
2. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's probably going to be a number 2 all over the place, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those movies where you're completely perplexed at the fact that it exists and it's out there and distributed into the world. Like, how did this one get made, and how in the hell
Yeah.
did you make a sequel?
Yeah.
How who gave you money for this? What what mob informant, what mob boss is trying to launder
That's
money
my
through
theory.
these?
That's my. I'm
these
sticking to it. They're laundering
Yeah.
money or something, man. There's no
These
way
are-
you would, and anybody in their right mind would want to make this. I mean, and especially given what movie costs today. I mean, the cameras, the sound editing, and all that stuff and everything. You got to pay someone just to find a set location and all this stuff to film. It's not cheap. And
No.
to sink all this into
No.
that, and that's what you get out of it. I mean, were there any investors who looked at the end product and be like, "Yeah, that was a wise use of my money. I could see that going good." I mean, if you're legitimate, if it's legit, there's no way you're gonna be satisfied with that.
This was a favorite.
No, well, it had to have been a final project in film school. There's no way this was.
Yeah,
an
this is a
actual
favorite
movie.
film. Like I said near that beginning, this is like we just a group of friends. There's no real money except maybe just a pool that their parents gave them, to
Yeah.
work out of. But okay, I'm done. Let's stop talking about this fucking movie. Do we have anything?
let's never mention it again.
Morgan, I'm going to go to you. We usually try to do plugs. I have like a little plug stinger at the end of this, but do you have anything you want to promote or talk about, or not talk about? But
I have no idea. I'll just defer to you guys.
Well, it's in the stinger at the end, but I'm a cartoonist, and you should, if not me, go out and support another artist that's making indie work that you like. But if you want to support me, go to hboys.com and check it out.
Awesome. And yeah, my stuff is at the stinger at the end too. But I am now Twitch streaming some video games. So if you're into that, you want to come hear me get salty and curse and be very, very naughty. Because I show my boobs. That's not true. I don't show my boobs, but I do. I do say a lot of bad words when I die in these video games. So if you want to come and see a person and just troll him and keep poking the tiger while you're there, JT, come to Twitch TV. JT Corpse is the name, all one word. So yeah, that's me.
Nice. Yeah, I was hoping I could get through the podcast without imagining your hairy areolas.
I
but
shave
no
my
such
areolas.
luck. Yumsies.
Nice food.
Yeah, I nared them this last time. But all right. All
Mm,
right, guys, that's
nice.
it. Thanks for everyone for joining us for another episode of Cinematic Suffering, and we will hopefully catch you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Cinematic Suffering. Clay is an extremely talented and twisted comic artist, and you should visit his pride and joy hboys.com. That's HBOYZ.com. If you're a fan of death and black metal, check out Jason's band Gravehill on all social media platforms, as well as his doom metal project Stygian Crown. Music provided by Face X Hugger. Check out Face X Hugger on Bandcamp and Twitter for more synthwave horror-themed music. Questions, comments, and hate mail should be directed to our Twitter account at Cinematic Supper.